Awesome. Okay, well, hello everyone. Very nice to see more and more people flooding in. So I'll start by kind of sharing a little bit about me, and then of course I'll tell you guys about AI learners and what everyone here is here excited to see. So just a bit about my background and about me. So my name's Adele. I am the founder of AI Learners, which is what I'll be talking about today, but just a bit of my personal background. So I'm originally from New York City, was born and raised there. I did my undergraduate in computer science at Cornell, and then I am finishing up a master's at Stanford in learning sciences and technology design. But I've been in the special education space really my whole life. My younger sister has a disability. She has Tourette syndrome. So that's how I learned about special education and growing up when my mom was, fighting the Department of Education and battling with all of those things that she had to do for my sister. I knew that special education was always problematic, but then when COVID hit and everyone turned to online learning, and my brother and I were doing okay with it, but my sister clearly wasn't, that's when I said, I want to try to do something to support. And I love talking to teachers all the time who, you guys are really the ones that are supporting students every day. So it's a pleasure to kind of work in this space, and I'm really glad that I get to do that. But what I've been working on, so the platform is called AI Learners, and I started working on it essentially for my sister. So my sister uses an eye gaze Tobii Dynavox. So I wanted to see how we could create educational technology games that were accessible for Tobii. She was trying to use IXL during COVID, and as I'm sure you know, IXL has really small buttons that are simply impossible for my sister with an eye gaze with her eyes to click on. So I said, okay, let me try to create something like this. And then her teachers said that what we initially created was actually really helpful. So over the past couple of years, I've really been trying to explore the research space and see what exists out there that we can do to be supporting students with disabilities in education, specifically with that focus on technology. And I've worked with a wide range of researchers and students and teachers, parents, and really everybody else to see what we can do. So I don't have slides today, but what I do have is a demo that I wanted to show you guys of what AI Learners does look like, and then talk a little bit about if you're interested in helping out and giving us more feedback and focusing on that side of how we can be improving the platform, or if you want to start using this with your kids. There's a free version that everybody can try, and then we love it when teachers ask their admin to kind of share this with more people and see if we can get it implemented and spread out more throughout districts. So that's a little bit about me. If anybody has any questions as well, definitely feel free to stop me or just drop something in the chat. I can answer questions. But I will screen share and show everyone the website. Let me just get it up and running. Okay, so without further ado. Okay, so here's the AI Learners website. So we have both a website and an app. So a lot of kids like playing around on an app and getting to click around on all of the fun buttons. But then we also have the website. So here's our homepage. So on our games page, you can see that AI Learners currently supports the content areas of pre-numeracy and pre-literacy through first and second grade. And we really chose those foundational areas to make learning to really help students build those foundational skills, because that's a lot of time what we're missing in special education is students aren't getting the opportunity to be really honing in on those early skills. And we want to be really supporting that at first. And then maybe in the future, we will go up to higher levels, but this is just what we're starting with.
And Adele, this is the interpreter speaking. If you could just slow down just a little bit, I'd appreciate that. Thank you.
Of course. So yeah, so we're supporting these earlier content areas, but that being said, we also are working with students with a wide range of ages. So we work with students as young as 3 and as old as 21, just as long as kind of cognitively they are aligned with these areas. So I'll show everyone what some of the pre-K and K looks like. So AI Learners currently has a lot of games in math areas. You can see we have our counting, addition, subtraction, those typical areas. And then also we get up to multiplication, which can get a little bit more advanced, coins, bills, and clocks. So really helping build those cognitive skills. And then literacy and social emotional learning. Right now we have starting off with those initial areas, so letters, CVC words, sight words, but we're soon launching blends, digraphs, a wide range of vocabulary games, reading comprehension, and grammar, and really supporting all of those different words that kids have to learn, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 words, and really want to support a very robust reading comprehension learning set of games. So I'll show you what some of the math games look like. So we can start with addition. So here you can see there's this color and object mode pop up. And this is really where you can begin to see some of the unique customization aspects of AI learners. So about a year ago, when I started working on how we could adapt AI learners to be more accessible for students with CVI and other vision impairments, the first and most important thing that teachers were saying was, we want dark mode and we want realistic images. So that's why you can see we have dark mode and light mode, and we have these realistic images. So most other products will just have abstract images, but we've seen from our studies that students with disabilities do so much better with realistic images, and teachers right away will tell us that. So that's why we added these realistic images, and it's been incredible to see so many students thriving with this, and general education students as well. We have general education teachers saying, wow, it's so unique to see realistic images on a platform because we don't see this in other places. And we really want to be helping kids build that realistic understanding when they're learning mathematics and literacy. So I'll show you dark mode. So we have a lot of games within Addition. We really want to be supporting a robust set of learning skills. So, having some things with objects, with numbers, word problems, sentences, and really ensuring that if students need that extra repetition of those early skills, that we're giving them a variety of games so that they're not getting bored.
Choose a fruit to play with.
So at the start of the game, students get to choose a fruit to play with. We leverage applied behavioral analysis to really ensure that kids are engaged in the game. So here, students can choose from blueberries, pears, strawberries, bananas, and oranges, and these options will differ time to time. We'll throw in some other options as well. I like oranges.
Oranges. What is 1 plus 3?
So now we have the game question, and it's very, very simple visually. So we have large instructions, we have the oranges in the middle of the screen, and we have our answer choices. And you can see the colors have really high color contrast. With the oranges, you can
1,
click on them to add them.
2, 3, 4.
That helps kids with tagging and counting. And you can count in any order. And we really want to make sure that kids have that visual experience, but also that the oranges are really big. So it's easy to click on, and if students are using assistive technology, they're also able to do that.
4.
Correct.
What is 3 plus 2?
So now you saw we clicked on one of the answer choices, and immediately you got their immediate feedback. And this sort of feedback really helps students with reinforcing skills. So it's better than having a worksheet where they're not getting a response right away, whether it's right or wrong. It's also really clear. An icon showed up on the screen informing them that it was correct. So again, we're building these early skills and really reinforcing right and wrong answers. And if you answer it incorrectly,
1.
Try again.
you get to try again. So now I want to show you some of the settings in the game. So we start by having this quick settings menu. So here you can, for example, hide the answer choices. You can hide the instructions, and now you only see the oranges. And sometimes teachers like doing this to help students just focus on the visuals and not have any other distractions. And then maybe a student has already counted and they know that the answer is 5. So now let's only have the answer choices, And then let's help a student really focus on those answer choices and select the right answer. Also, if a student is using a switch, this is helpful as well, because then we can reduce everything else on the screen and then just have those answer choices shown. So that can be really beneficial. And then for students with some vision impairments that have very specific color preferences, we can change the color of the keyword in the instructions. We can change the font size, the fruit size. We can also change the font size. You can change the spacing of answer choices. You can change the sizing of answer choices. You can even take away the answer choice outline. And you can change the color of the answer choices as well. So there's so many different things that you can customize in the game to really make this as accessible and appealing for students as possible. And then we're also analyzing all of those differences of the visuals of the game and a student's accuracy to see maybe one set of colors and configurations is better for a student than another set. And the settings don't stop there. So teachers have always had a lot of requests for different options in the game. We've heard time and time over that if you can just change this one little thing, it would be so much more accessible for our students. So that's really where all of these settings come from. So in our main settings menu, we have options for difficulty, game flow, and audio. For example, within the difficulty settings, you can change the maximum number that's used in the game. You can change the audio or the visual change that happens when you click on the oranges, and things that are a little bit more straightforward, like the number of answer choices and the maximum attempts. You can also show a submit button. So some students that, maybe have a lot of accidental selections, like they would be more lenient to just kind of click on an answer choice without thinking a little bit. We want to turn on that submit button to then give them an extra step of thinking. But maybe for some other students that are using eye gaze, for example, like for my sister, it's always hard to click on a button. So we don't want that submit button. And with all of these different settings options, we also have these question marks that provide more information. And these have all been written by specialists to really be supporting and helping out. So that's the difficulty. Then we also have some game flow settings. So for students with some behavioral challenges, we really want to support them in all of the different options with the duration of breaks in the game and just the duration of the game altogether. Some students can't play for more than 5 questions. Some can play for 20 questions. So we really want to be supporting all of those different options. And then we have some of our typical audio settings. And I won't go into the details on all of this, but whenever people kind of sign on to the website, they get a chance to play around with everything. And it's all been very self-explanatory with these question mark tooltips that are supportive of explaining all of the different options and settings that we have on the platform. So that's one of our addition games. So I'll show a couple of our other games as well. So our logical reasoning games have also been a really big hit, and I'll show the light mode this time. So with logical reasoning, we start with patterns. So some patterns with fruits or circles and colors. Then teaching kids the concept of do not belong, same and different. And we wanted to separate those games to really be supporting that language development as well. Size logic and spatial orientation. So again, teaching key vocabulary terms, but then also building cognitive skills. So concepts like taller and shorter, longer versus shorter, bigger and smaller, wider and narrower. And then with spatial orientation, left and right, top, bottom, above and below, inside versus outside. And we actually got so much positive feedback from these games that we're soon launching. I think we're increasing the number of these games by about 4 or 5 times and adding even more images and not just having fruits here, but having a lot of other options. And really what I want to emphasize there is we get a lot of great feedback from teachers as we're developing this. And that's why teachers almost feel like they're a part of the development process of AI learners, and it makes them more happy, and it makes ultimately their students more happy, and their students are learning more. And that's really something that we love to be able to support and do on our team. I'll also show some literacy games. So CVC words are always a really big hit. So on CVC words, you can choose a vowel. You can choose one of the 5 vowels, or you can choose games to have mixed vowels to really be supporting all of those specific learning goals that students will be having in classrooms. One of the favorite CVC word games is when we just have audio.
Are you ready to play? Yes. Listen to the word. What is the ending sound? Pat.
So here you get to listen to the end to the word,
Pat.
and then the answer choices
A, T, E,
are all of the different letters that we would be able to have, or all of the different sounds.
Correct.
Listen to the word. What is the ending sound? Not.
So in this game, again, we're listening to the words, and then we're able to listen to the sounds and match that. And that really helps students build those listening skills, and ensuring that they're really understanding those sounds. And then for students that may have hearing impairments, we have other games that don't require any listening to it. So let's see, we have, I'll show some of the rhyming games. So here we have rhyming by reading.
Are you ready to play? Yes. Which word rhymes? Set.
So now we can see the word here. You can also listen to it.
Set.
And then we have the different answer choices.
Yet.
And then students can, as well, if they want to, listen
Mad.
to all of the answer choices.
Mug. Yet.
And then make select the answer.
Correct.
Which word rhymes? Bed.
So here you can see, again, we really have, the visuals are really accessible. We have the word in the middle of the screen, and it's nice and big. You can also change the colors, and then you can also change the colors of the answer choices. And students can either read this or listen to everything. And then for CVC words, we also get into word identification. So kind of just summarizing what we have in CVC words, we start with those beginning and ending sounds. So developing those consonant sounds, then doing middle sounds, so identifying the vowel, then blending words together. So here I'll show one of these.
Are you ready to play? Yes. Sound out the word. What is the word? Wed.
So students can then try to sound this out and then select an answer.
Wed.
choice.
Correct.
Sound out the word. What is the word? Jig.
And so yeah, so that's some of our CVC words. So I guess before I'll kind of show some other things, does anybody have any questions? Feel free to put in the chat.
Hi, this is Olivia. I have a quick question.
Yeah, please.
Do you know if it's has any accessibility for screen readers, like third-party or built-in screen readers?
Yeah, it's completely accessible with screen readers.
Okay.
We have a lot of students that have vision impairments. I think actually a majority of our schools that we partner with are schools for students with vision impairments.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. And it's compatible with eye gaze, switch devices, screen readers, text to speech, and some other AT if I'm missing it. But yeah, very good question. Any other questions? So now let me log in with one of my test accounts. Not that one. Okay, so once a student has an account, they log in with their username and password. You can also log in with Clever. So whatever your school or school district has. So when students have accounts, one of the fun things that they can do is build an avatar for themselves. So here you can see we can change the skin color, or you can change the hairstyles, some clothing. So we can change the color of the shirt, and also add some accessories. So you can add a hat or you can add glasses. And it's a lot of fun for students to see that, because then this avatar shows up in the game as well. And now I wanted to show you analytics. So for every student, you can see the analytics for how a student has done. So you can see some quick overview facts, so the amount of minutes that they've played, the number of topics, games, questions, and then you can get a time spent playing graph to really see what days of the week they played and for how many minutes for each of those days. And then we can see questions answered correctly. So these graphs are showing where a student is excelling. So the green ones are showing where a student is excelling. Orange needs improvement. Fortunately, this demo student doesn't have anything with red, but if they weren't doing well, then we would show needs work somewhere. So here you can see in CVC words, for example, they were not doing so well. And then that gives teachers an opportunity to see, okay, this is a place where we need to be better supporting students. And then maybe we'll assign games for students to play in that area. I saw a question in the chat. Is the system accessible with Braille displays? That's a really good question. I've had a couple of teachers try it and they said yes, but I haven't personally tested it. So we can go with yes. And if you do try it with a Braille display, let me know how it goes. I tried getting a Braille display from APH, but then they didn't send it to me. So I haven't been able to test it myself yet, but that's definitely why teachers can definitely be testing it out and see and letting me know how it goes. A couple of other things that I want to show you here. So on the highlights page, you saw that highlights overview of everything within the different areas that students can play. But now if we go into this topic progress page, you can get more specific information. So here on this counting area in the topic numbers, we can see, okay, in the past 4 weeks, a student has played 41 minutes, 69 game sessions, answered a lot of questions, but then you can get into even more details. So you can see for each specific game, how many questions they were answering and their accuracy. So for example, with this matching digits game, and you can hover over it to see what it is, their accuracy wasn't as good. But with identifying numbers, their accuracy was a lot greater. So then this gives you more of a deeper understanding of exactly how they're doing within every single game. And then I'll also show you this history page. So here you can get an even deeper understanding of how students are doing, and exactly what days they're playing and what games they're playing. And then you can click for more details as well on each day and for every game. So you can see what the difficulty was for each of those games. You can see their accuracy, and you can also get an understanding of their accuracy on the first attempt or first and second attempt, and then the time that they spent on every single question. So you really get a highly robust set of information, and this can be taken for IEP meetings. And we also have a feature where you can download a customizable report on students' analytics. So again, coming into those IEP meetings, really prepared with all of the information that parents and the entire board would need. And then we have our settings pages where you can edit the difficulty values for all of your students and for every single topic. So really getting that, being able to customize it as much as possible. You can also turn off certain areas here. So if a student is at a lower level, then maybe we'll hide some of those harder games like coins and bills and clocks. Maybe we'll turn off multiplication as well. Then you can edit all of the settings here as well, and we have our accessibility settings. So you can change things like font size, visual size, a lot of different things here. You can set the assistive technology as well, and really make this as personalized as possible for every single student. And then so I've been showing you a student account. We also have teacher accounts where then you can keep track of all of your students and then see kind of aggregate analytics for all of the students. So looking at analytics for 5, 10 students at a time and being able to change the settings for multiple students at a time as well. And you can also create assignments on your teacher account as well. So before we run out of time, I want to also drop a link where everybody could create a free account if they want to. I will put this in the chat. And I'll also put my email in the chat if anybody has any questions about using this. We are offering discounts for schools that want to sign up for the school year. So now is a great time to grab that. But if you want to just play around with it, here is that free, the free trial. So you can create an account here and kind of play around and explore. And again, we're always welcome to feedback and more suggestions for games. So we'd be happy to talk more about that. I'm gonna pause and ask for questions. Olivia, thank you. But yeah, so I guess for just a little more context, we launched this less than a year ago. And it's been fantastic to just see so many people jumping onto this and saying that this is a really unique product for their students. We totally understand that money is tight in schools right now, and it's always hard to go talk to your administrators, but you know, it's every effort that counts from all of us, and that's also why we do offer that free trial version. And for some schools as well, we've been giving it for free for an entire year, just to kind of be supporting all students. So then I'll show everyone also, if you are signing up for an account here, make sure you're entering in all of the information, so that then this button will be disabled until you click all of the different options here and you fill everything in. So then if you just put in your name, where you work, your school name, email address, job title, and then fill out some of these checkboxes, then you'll be able to create an account. Awesome. And I did put my email in the chat. So again, if anybody has any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out, but it was very nice to be able to talk to everyone here today.